What's up, folks? Welcome to episode 74 of the David Soto Jr. podcast. I am your host, David Soto Jr. Okay, it's the day after Christmas, so I'm kind of rough, feeling kind of rough. Had a good Christmas. A good time was had by all. Today I want to talk about, and it's linked to Christmas, so today I want to talk about diversity and inclusion. And I promise to not bore you like if you were to go to a diversity and inclusion briefing at work. All right, it'll be a lot better than that. I promise. So the first example I want to give a couple of examples, and one is there was a time where I lived in Guanajuato, Mexico, and I been there several times before. I initially started going there to study Spanish and take and attend an immersion school. And then I fell in love with the city and repeatedly went back. One time I went back, and because I had been there so many times, people knew who I was. And so I had friends there, which was cool. And I would hang out with them and we'd go drinking and and it was awesome. So one time I was hanging out with this guy who didn't speak English. So we were hanging out all evening, late into the night, and he met up with his girlfriend, and we're hanging out, and then his girlfriend, which happened to be a girl from California, a gringa from California, she sees a friend of hers and is like, "Hey, what's going on? What are you doing?" Now, his gringa girlfriend spoke Spanish, was bilingual, and so since he didn't speak English, we spoke Spanish the entire time we were hanging out. And if you've ever tried to speak a language that's not your primary language, and you're in the process of learning and you're not fluent, it's exhausting. It's exhausting because you're always thinking about what to say, how to say it, and then you're translating what people say into your first language. It's very strenuous. And so when this friend came along, I was like, "Hey, oh my God, I just got done doing this and this. I'll meet you guys in a little bit." And then I got introduced, and she's like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" And I was immediately like, "Oh my God, English. It's so good to speak English." And it was a relief. It was a load off of my shoulders just for a little bit, to have some relief, to be around someone who spoke English. I just felt not a little bit better. I felt a lot better. Even though she was in passing because she had to go, it was just a relief for that brief time. Just made me feel a little bit better. Similarly, I've done a lot of traveling abroad, not just Mexico, which I don't know if that includes abroad. I thought abroad meant over the ocean. But I've been to Italy, and of course all those great places in the Middle East. But when you're traveling to a foreign country and you see somebody that could possibly be a U.S. American, you're like, "Hey, you American?" You're like, "Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah. What do you think? Where are you from? Da 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 da. It's great. Oh, me and my wife are staying here, or we've been here. It's our." Both people immediately draw towards each other and have this sense of camaraderie, this sense of joy. Like, what a relief! Again, another relief off your shoulders. off one's shoulders. To be like, oh, I see somebody that's like me, and it gives you a level of comfort. And this American, when you see a U.S. American and you're traveling, you say, "Oh yeah, me." It doesn't matter where you're from. Like, if you both happen to be from states that are close or that you know of, it's cool. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter what your political party is. It doesn't matter what your religion is. It doesn't. Nothing else matters because you have this one thing in common: that you're both from the United States, and you immediately form this little bond. Now, granted, if you spend some more time with the person and they kind of turn out to be a dick, then maybe you wouldn't like them. But for that moment, nothing else matters except the fact that you are both from the United States. I have another example. Actually, I have a couple. Again, with being in the military, when I was in boot camp or basic training, whatever you want to call it, you'd always pass. Now in the Air Force, we were called flights, and our flights would be marching, and then you have another flight marching. So we would be maybe marching to church. The only reason you went to church is to have a break for an hour. Marching to church, and another group would be marching back, and you could say, "Hey, where are you from? Where are you from? Where are you from?" Um, and if you're from the same state, then you're like, "Oh yeah, hey, me too. What city?" There's this. You're going through what's pretty much hell, and you're alone, and you're away from your family probably for the first time, and you're young, and you've never been anywhere, you've never done anything like this. You're physically drained, you're mentally drained. It's probably the hardest thing you've ever been through in your life. Um, Only because you're so young, right? Again, you're away from your family, you're away from your loved ones, you're away from your girlfriend, your boyfriend, you're away from your house, you're away from your car, your friends. Not only that, everything is taken from you. Your clothes, your hair, your even your name. You're given a rank. Your first name, anyways. You're pretty miserable. And so the thing that you're looking for is somebody that has something that you have in common. Somebody who is like you. You're looking for that. And you shout out, "Where are you from?" "Missouri." "Oh, where from?" "St. Louis." "Oh, yeah, me too." Except I wasn't from Missouri. I was from Perryville, Missouri. I wasn't from St. Louis. I was from Perryville, Missouri, which is 80 miles south of St. Louis, which is, it might as well not even be on the map. At that time, I don't know, compared to the rest of the world, Perryville, Missouri is a pretty small town. Then, it's also still a small town. Oh, that was an experience too. This made me realize that uh, moving to such a small town, coming from Los Angeles, California, moving to small town Perryville, small town Missouri, I just realized that. Talk about diversity and inclusion. Anyways, I'm going to give a really general example now. Next. Imagine you're in a sea of blue dots. Imagine you're a dot. and you're surrounded everywhere you look in an entire, again, sea, blue dots as far as the eye can see. But you're a red dot. You're a red dot or a sphere or a ball. And I mean, these blue dots are cool. No problem with blue dots. You hang out with them. You guys, you chill. Sometimes you try to be a blue dot. I'm like, I know I'm a red dot, but I grew up around you blue dots, so I'm basically blue too. Then one day you see a green dot. I mean, hey, green dot. I'm a red dot. You're a green dot. We're not the same color dots, but we're not the same as everything around us. So me and you were friends. It's good to see somebody who's not a blue dot. To tell you the truth, I am surprised at how good it feels. I didn't even know. But you are a green dot. I'm a red dot. We're friends. Let's kick it. I mean, okay. Now the red dot, now the green dot is your friend. But the green dot leaves. He's got his own dots to hang out, or he's on his own journey looking for some more green dots. But you know, if you're running that green dot again, or if you need him, he'll be there because you have something in common. In this case, the thing you have in common is that you're not blue dots. And then one day you're traveling in your sea of blue dots, and you see a red dot. You're like, hey, you're a red dot. I'm a red dot, man. What's going on? Where did you come from? Oh, I came from red dot land. There's a bunch of us over there. Oh, for real? Yeah. Yeah. It's cool. It's cool. Red dot land is cool. But you know, I'm out here traveling and checking out all these blue dots. And I go, what's it like? What's it like being a red? I never seen another red dot before, or I haven't seen a red dot in so long. What have you been up to? Oh well, just doing stuff. Like, do you speak red dot? Like, yeah, I do speak red dot. Oh, so do I. Oh, actually, I'm practicing my red dot, but I'm pretty good. You want to speak red dot? Yeah, let's speak red dot. Oh, remember? Did your mom used to make red dot food? Of course, I still eat. She's still alive. We still eat red dot. Oh my god! Like what kind? Oh my god! I've never put that in that red dot soup. That's delicious. That sounds good. I wish I could eat some of that. Nobody around here makes red dot food. So I've been eating blue dot food my whole life. Hey, do you want to come over and we'll make some red dot food? And we'll eat it and hang out. Oh, yeah, that sounds good. Let's do that. Let's hang out. I'm so glad we met. Yeah, me too. This is awesome. It's good to see a red dot when you're surrounded by blue dots. That's my point. There's nothing wrong with having a choice when you have that choice or you have that opportunity to spend time with somebody who looks like you. So it's a level of comfort that you're not provided when you're a red dot, when you're not a blue dot. And so when it's available to you, you take advantage of it. Case in point, this holiday season, my niece, my niece has a boyfriend. And his name is Luis. So, I had this whole joke planned. Let's call him Luis because that's his name. That would have been my joke, my dad joke, I guess. But so Luis turns out to be Mexican from Mexico, and I looked forward to seeing him. Never even met the guy, but I know that he's from Mexico. I know that he's a brown dot, like I am, and we're surrounded in a sea of white dots, and so they would be cool to see somebody who looks like me, who can understand that I taught my son to say "no tocas way." I didn't teach him intentionally, but I say that to him when he's touching stuff that he's not supposed to. And we came over. They came over. Was glad to see all my family that came over. My brothers came over too. We made tamales. We had a good time. We drank some beer. We laughed, and it was great. And I had a good time. The next, or just yesterday, I texted my niece and I said, "You and Luis are welcome at our house anytime." Partially because they're cool people and they're nice. It's fun and nice and enjoyable to be with. My other nieces, maybe not. But this niece and her boyfriend, yes. Now, my wife, you know who, says, "Would you send that message if her boyfriend wasn't Mexican?" And I don't know. I'll say this: I wouldn't send that message if her boyfriend was a dick. But if he was a dick and Mexican, I still wouldn't invite his ass to come back. But he's cool people. And it's nice to be around someone who looks like me. So is it a factor? If the kid was a white kid, would I be as eager and anxious to invite him back over again? Maybe not, but I probably still would. I don't hold that against my brother because he's got a white fiance now. I don't. It's not me giving Luis special privilege. All of my brothers, all of my family and their spouses are invited to my house. Unless they're a pain in the ass, then you're not. I don't exclude anybody because of the color of their skin, but I may welcome somebody a little bit more because of it. Because of something we have in common. Now, some people may get a butthurt over that. But that's what I tried to explain in this whole podcast. Why you shouldn't get butthurt if I want to hang out with somebody who's the same color as me. Because it provides a relief off your shoulders. It provides a level of comfort that you enjoy, that white people enjoy on a 24-hour basis, 7 days a week, most of their entire life. Think about this. If you're white and you've mistakenly gone into a bad neighborhood, which also happens to be predominantly black, and you're looking around and you don't see any white people, how does that make you feel? If you ever experienced that, how does that make you feel? And then I want you to consider what it's like to be person of color in the reverse situation, which is the rest of the world, basically. That's why there's sometimes cultures, people different cultures and people different colors are segregated. Not necessarily because some authority made it that way. It's because it provides a level of comfort. If there's a small section, there's Little Italy, there's Chinatown, there's Little, I don't know what there's a Mexican neighborhood. There's a black neighborhood, which unfortunately, through years of oppression, is usually the city. For example, in this, we have St. Louis County here in Missouri, and then we also have St. Louis City. And St. Louis City is the scary part of this part of the world because of the crime. But people don't see the crime more than as much as they do the color of people. And that's unfortunate. I think I made my point. Anyways, folks, I appreciate you tuning in. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at David E. Soto Jr. Also, you can find me on OpenSea at David E. Soto Jr. I am working on creating, don't ask me, because I don't know, but I'm working on creating NFTs. Trying to jump on that train, see what I can do, see if I can create something that people want, see if my art will ever sell. But yeah, David E. Soto Jr., JR for Jr. If you look me up, you'll find me. My OpenSea account is new. I got some things posted already. I'm working on creating more, and I'll probably start a collection of my photography over the years. Maybe I should create a link. Yep, we'll see. All right, folks. Appreciate you tuning in. Thank you very much.